Hello again and welcome back. I'm Dr. Protection, yours in safety. Tonight I want to talk a little bit about emotions. Emotions. What are emotions? Well, let's consider a couple of things. Number one, Socrates said, "Know thyself." Very, very important words there. What does that mean? Know thyself. How many of us truly know ourselves? We think we know ourselves. We pretend to know ourselves, but do we really? Do we really know who we are? Well, that there's one thing to think about when you start wondering about the emotions and the human psyche. How many emotions do you think there are? Come on, I'm waiting. No, not 5. Nope, not 10. Nope, not 15. Nope, not even 20. Still waiting here. What? No. I'm going to tell you something. You're going to be surprised. There's over 900. Over 900 emotions. Now, how many of us can actually sit there and name that many emotions? Not many of us. I don't think any of us, actually. I couldn't even do it. So, the average person can name maybe 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 at the most. So, it really brings us back to what Socrates said, and I think that that's going to be part of the study that we need to focus on right now, is starting to know who we are, and I think if we learn to know who we are better, the closer I think that we can get with God, and I think a lot of people that don't accept God right now will really learn a secret about themselves, and realize that something else is out there and something else is missing, and a fulfillment within yourself, not only understanding these knowing these emotions, but really trying to understand them and know what they are and put them in perspective into relationship of who you are and what you are. And remember, like I said before, what is true character? Character is who you are when no one else is around to see you. That's character. And understanding the human psyche about the emotions and starting to learn how to control those emotions will teach you a lot about yourself. And we do an assessment skill test in our seminar. In our women's self-defense seminar, we actually have a couple of tests actually, and these tests it's interesting because a lot of people think they have the answers and they know about themselves, and then they look at these tests and they see these scores, and it's like, wow, what happened? I thought I was I thought I was somebody different than what the results are. So I think that's a very, very powerful tool that I use in our self-defense lectures and seminars, and I think especially in the women's self-defense lectures, they tend to learn a lot more serious aspects, and it's not just about self-defense techniques, guys. It's not about getting away from a grab, and it's not just pure technique on dangerous situations and tactical choices that you would make, but there's much more involved in self-defense. And when you're a professional and you're putting out that material for women to study and to learn from, you really want them to know what is real, and how serious is it. I get so upset when I talk to different women and they say, well, I don't need to learn how to protect myself. My husband will protect me. Well, nothing could be further from the truth and reality. So come on, ladies, get with it, okay? you're living in denial. And I'm not talking about the river. I'm talking about denial, real not denial. And you got to understand that your husband's not always going to be there. He's not around you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Your boyfriends are not going to be there. Your dog is not always going to be there. Your dog is not a deterrent. It's not going to protect you. For those that are super religious, God is not going to protect you. And the one thing I could say to that, and you can argue with me all you want, but what does the Bible even say about that? It does talk about it. God only protects those who protect themselves. God only helps those who help themselves. So let's face it, in reality, it's up to you. It's up to you and you yourself. You have to be responsible for you. And learning about your emotions and learning who you are and becoming autonomous is the first step. That's the key. The key to unlock the depths of personal protection. Okay, that's enough for tonight. I'm yours in self-defense and safety, Dr. Protection. And I hope that this helps you a little bit, and I hope that you get serious and that you seek out a martial arts instructor who is well-versed in women's self-defense. And I'm not talking about just technique, like I said earlier. I'm talking about very well-versed. They know the ins and the outs. They know the assessment skills you need to learn. They know the awareness skills you need to learn. They understand the principles. They can teach you the different cognitive thinking that's involved in teaching you how to understand about fear and, again, the emotion. You have to be in control. To control the situation is the secret to being successful in a certain predicament, whether it be a life-death situation or an out-of-control situation. Dealing with an irate individual. Maybe you're at work and you work at a cash register and the guy's upset about his lunch. Learning how to assess these things, understanding the human emotions and understanding how things work, and knowing the 5 tactical choices that you have in any given situation is also important. So seek out someone who's knowledgeable and someone who's been out in the street, who knows, who's been there, who's had things happen to them. Let me tell you something. I think one thing that makes me an incredible teacher is that I have lived the life of a martial artist, and I have used my martial arts several times, and I'm not bragging about that. What I want to do is educate you in the fact that there's instructors out there who are teaching self-defense who's never even used it. How the heck do they know how to defend themselves? How do they know how to teach you to defend yourself? How do they know what's real? How do they know what works? Unless you've been in it, unless you've been out there, unless you've been involved and you've used it and you understand it, those are the only ways to really be able to teach. Other than that, you're faking, you're phony. So seek out someone who has the credentials, true credentials, and the knowledge behind it, where they can utilize their wisdom and their those things that has happened to them. It's important. And again, I know, don't get confused and think that people are trying to brag when they're telling you there are success stories in the martial arts world. It's much deeper than that. We're not trying to brag to you. It's not about bragging rights. There's no ego in the dojo. We try to get rid of the ego long before you are a black belt in the martial arts world. Now, don't get me wrong. There's I know a lot of black belts who still have an ego, but the fact is, um, you know, we're trained and we're taught to let go of those egotistical thinking and ways. And some of us are successful with it and some are not. Like anything else, there's good and bad in everything. And that's why I'm saying seek out someone who has the understanding, has the knowledge, who's been in situations that they can relate to. I think it's very important that an instructor can relate some of the things that they've been involved in to get the student to understand. Wow, hey, it worked like that, and this is what happened, and then that's how it happened. And I think it just brings a whole new truth to the teachings and a realism to the teachings, so that people really do get an understanding and accept it for really what it is. All right. With that said, I'm going to wish you a good night, and I'm going to see you again soon. I'm Dr. Protection, yours in safety. Take care and have a good night. Thank you.